Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine hearing that a simple 1-cent 1983 USA coin, something so ordinary that millions of people once carried it in their pockets without a second thought, has suddenly become the center of global attention because collectors, experts, and treasure hunters are whispering about an unbelievable face value of $188 million. And right now people everywhere are scrambling through jars, drawers, and boxes searching for that one forgotten penny that could change their lives forever. And today we are diving deep into the true reasons behind why this tiny copper-plated coin is setting the numismatic world on fire, causing a frenzy that continues to grow daily as more rumors, discoveries, and theories unfold. The 1983 penny, struck at the Denver Mint during a transitional period when the United States Mint was adjusting materials, dyes, and striking methods, has become a legendary example of how mistakes, overlooked errors, and rare mechanical misalignments in the minting process can unintentionally create something so unique that collectors are willing to pay fortunes beyond imagination. And the fascination begins with understanding how a coin that originally cost less than a fraction of a cent to produce could be catapulted into the realm of ultra-valuable treasures. In 1983 the mint used zinc cores with copper plating, and even though mass production was the norm, certain coins slipped through the system carrying irregularities that no one noticed at the time. For instance, experts now suspect that some 1983 cents may exhibit thickness anomalies, planchet composition mistakes, incorrect die pressure, doubled elements, misaligned dies, or an extremely rare mix-up involving leftover copper planchets from earlier years, and each of these possibilities adds layers of mystery that strengthen the belief that a select few coins are far from ordinary. The first major speculation is that a tiny number of 1983 cents might have been accidentally struck on pure copper planchets instead of zinc, which would instantly make them enormously valuable because such an error would contradict the official mint records for that year. Collectors know that the mint occasionally left older planchets in the bins during transitions, which has happened before in other years and created some of the rarest coins known to American history. Another widely discussed theory involves the potential for a dramatic double die error on either the obverse or reverse, possibly affecting the date, the word liberty, or the famous "In God We Trust," and although confirmed examples have not been found in large quantities, even the slightest credible trace of this sort of doubling in a 1983 penny sends collectors into a panic because double dies from the 1980s are already rarities, and combining such a feature with the possibility of a metal composition error skyrockets the potential value. There are also discussions about off-center strikes that could be unusually extreme, broad strikes that create wider and flatter coins, die breaks that produce raised lines or fragments known as cuds, and dramatic plating bubbles caused by zinc reacting beneath the copper coating. These minting defects might typically attract moderate collector interest, but when they appear on a coin surrounded by rumors of multi-million-dollar price tags, every flaw suddenly becomes a potential lottery ticket. Moreover, the 1983 penny may also have variations in weight that collectors obsessively check using precision scales. A normal 1983 zinc cent weighs around 2.5 grams, so anything measuring closer to 3.1 grams signals a copper planchet, which is exactly the kind of anomaly that drives the value into astronomical heights. And because measuring errors could hide for decades in circulation, it's entirely possible that some rare specimens remain undiscovered in personal collections. The historical timing of 1983 adds additional intrigue, as the mint was stabilizing its zinc-based cent production following major changes implemented in 1982. Transitional chaos often creates unusual conditions that lead to rare collectibles, and when enthusiasts believe there are hidden treasures from that period, demand rises rapidly, driving speculative values higher than anyone expects. The modern world has also played a role in fueling the hype, because social media repeats and amplifies stories, often transforming small discoveries into worldwide sensations overnight. Viral posts and trending videos have convinced thousands of viewers that their old pennies might be worth over $188 million, and although not every claim is accurate, the resulting excitement pushes real collectors to search more aggressively, increasing competition, driving up auction prices, and giving even the most unlikely errors a chance to reach legendary status. But perhaps the greatest factor behind the coin's massive reputation is the psychological thrill of the hunt, people love the idea that something so ordinary could hide unimaginable value, that a forgotten coin tucked away in a purse or jar could instantly change someone's life, and the 1983 penny has become the perfect symbol of that hope. That dream is what motivates treasure seekers to examine every detail under magnifying glasses, carefully analyzing rims, lettering, strike quality, and even microscopic marks that could reveal a hidden error. It's what inspires collectors to follow auction news and remain updated about price spikes. It's what makes the concept of a $188 million penny feel real and reachable. Furthermore, the rise of high-grade certified coins has increased the potential value because collectors now understand that the highest mint state grades, especially MS-67 or higher, can drastically increase premium prices, and when extremely rare errors occur on coins that also survive in pristine condition, the result is extraordinary. Some numismatists believe there may be extremely limited proof-like examples, or coins struck with unusually polished dies at the beginning of a minting run, and these early strikes often exhibit sharper details, cleaner surfaces, and glowing luster that stands out dramatically compared to regular circulation pieces, although not officially documented. Rumors and private discussions suggest that a few exist in private hands. Even small differences like die rotation, where the reverse design is shifted slightly when compared to the obverse, can take on huge significance because collectors prize any form of variation when evaluating rarity. The rising fascination with minting errors has also increased the symbolic value of the 1983 penny, turning it from a simple object into a viral cultural phenomenon. Stories spread rapidly every time someone finds a strange coin, even if most discoveries turn out to be common variations, and the very possibility that something extraordinary is out there keeps the market alive. People trade theories, compare images, share weighing methods, and discuss subtle differences in tone, texture, or sheen that could hint at a rare composition. The conversation becomes just as valuable as the coin itself, and that energy pushes the hype further. Imagine a coin that traveled through the pockets of ordinary Americans for decades, surviving cash registers, vending machines, piggy banks, and daily life before someone finally recognized its unusual features. The story alone makes it priceless. Combine that with modern collector culture, skyrocketing demand, and the irresistible appeal of rare historical errors, and suddenly the idea of a single 1983 cent reaching $188 million seems not only possible but thrilling. That number, $188 million, captures everyone's imagination because it transforms the coin from a small artifact into a global treasure, one that symbolizes mystery, luck, rarity, and the astonishing possibility that enormous value can hide in the smallest places. So whether it is the potential for rare copper planchets, dramatic double dies, shocking off-center strikes, significant die breaks, plating errors, incorrect weights, transitional anomalies, or simply the extraordinary culture of rarity hunting that pushes these values into the stratosphere, the 1983 1-cent coin continues to dominate conversations as one of the most talked-about coins in recent history, and every passing year only increases its legend, its desirability, and its mystique. People everywhere are still searching, still dreaming, still hoping that the next penny they pick up, the next coin they examine, the next forgotten cent hidden in a drawer might be the elusive multi-million-dollar treasure that everyone is talking about. And if you want more incredible stories about rare and valuable coins, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more jaw-dropping discoveries. Next, 2015 1-cent USA coin. Imagine hearing that a modern 1-cent coin you might have tossed on a table, stepped over on a sidewalk, or ignored at the bottom of a drawer could secretly be worth an unbelievable $189 million, and suddenly the ordinary 2015 USA penny becomes the most talked about coin in history as collectors, treasure hunters, and curious viewers race to understand what could possibly propel such a common piece of change into the realm of record-breaking fortune. And today, we dive into the electrifying truth behind why this coin has become a symbol of unimaginable value, unstoppable hype, and one of the most thrilling searches in numismatic culture. The 2015 penny, struck at the Denver Mint during a year of high-speed production and advanced minting systems, has sparked enormous debate because even though it is a modern zinc-based cent with copper plating, experts and enthusiasts believe that a small number of these coins exhibit errors so unusual, so unpredictable, and so profoundly rare that they transform a simple 1-cent piece into a global treasure. The excitement starts with a rumor that somewhere within the millions of 2015 pennies, a handful were accidentally struck on experimental planchets that may have been intended for tests, calibrations, or internal quality control trials, and these mysterious blanks, if used by mistake, could explain weight differences, metal composition anomalies, or unexpected color tones that appear under specific lighting. Collectors speculate that the Denver Mint, during high-volume operations, may have inadvertently mixed these experimental planchets with standard zinc ones, creating several extraordinary coins that escaped unnoticed and entered circulation. When a coin challenges the expected weight of 2.5 grams, even by a small fraction, collectors immediately take notice, since unusual weights suggest composition variances like higher copper concentration, misplaced bronze blanks, or thicker planchet layers caused by inconsistencies during metal rolling, and each of these possibilities is capable of transforming a mundane coin into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. Another major source of excitement comes from alleged double die errors rumored to exist on the 2015 penny. Some claim to have detected doubling on the date, the word Liberty, or the "In God We Trust" inscription, and while dramatic doubling is rare in modern coins due to improved minting technology, even a subtle example from 2015 would become a sensation because double dies from the modern era almost always attract massive bidding wars among collectors who understand how unusual such mistakes are. There is also speculation about what collectors refer to as rotated die anomalies, in which the reverse design appears twisted slightly when compared to the obverse. These types of errors often originate from minute misalignments during die installation, and although usually corrected quickly, a few early strikes can escape detection, making them extraordinarily valuable. The presence of die cracks, die chips, and cuts further amplifies interest, as these flaws can produce raised lines, missing sections, or distorted features that collectors obsess over. Although such mistakes are generally small, certain dramatic breaks known as major cuts can command huge premiums. In addition, plating errors, especially those involving copper separation, bubbling, peeling, or exposing underlying zinc, are deeply coveted because 2015 coins, in theory, should have nearly flawless plating due to modern minting processes. Therefore, any irregularity becomes highly collectible. Some numismatists even believe there may be instances of coins struck twice by accident, showing doubled rims, superimposed images, or ghost-like shadows of previous strikes, and such errors, when verified, often yield extremely high auction prices. Beyond physical errors, the 2015 penny's explosive fame also stems from theories surrounding the Denver Mint's production year, which saw a massive output of circulating coins that created the perfect environment for undetected anomalies. Experts note that when production speeds increase, the chance of minor mechanical issues also rises, leading to a higher possibility of unnoticed flawed strikes, off-center impressions, broad strikes, and tilted dies. Off-center strikes, especially those that are extreme enough to cut away parts of the design while keeping the date visible, are incredibly valuable, and if any 2015 examples exist with dramatic off-centering, they would instantly become top-tier collectibles. Another point of fascination is the idea that early strikes from newly polished dies might have an unusual finish known as proof-like surfaces, which reflect more light and exhibit sharper details. Although official proof coins are minted separately, the first few strikes of a new die sometimes display mirror-like fields and enhanced clarity. If such proof-like 2015 pennies exist, they would attract enormous attention because collectors love modern anomalies where extraordinary quality meets rare error features. The growing obsession with the 2015 penny has also fueled speculation about mule errors, accidental pairings of mismatched dies, such as a cent obverse with a die intended for another denomination. Although extremely unlikely, mule coins are some of the most valuable minting mistakes in existence, and even the mere possibility that one could exist in a modern series ignites collector fever worldwide. But the real driver behind this coin's staggering reported value of $189 million is the cultural energy surrounding rare coin discoveries. Social media has amplified interest to unprecedented levels, turning ordinary people into enthusiastic searchers, and every video, comment, or post claiming a strange 2015 penny adds fuel to the fire. Viewers love the idea that a seemingly worthless coin could suddenly become the centerpiece of a viral treasure hunt. They love the suspense, the mystery, and the slim but thrilling possibility that anyone, anywhere, might possess the next record-breaking cent. The psychological thrill of the hunt cannot be overstated. People crave the excitement of discovering something extraordinary hidden in plain sight, and the modern collector community thrives on the idea that even recent coins can contain unprecedented errors. Combined with the increasing popularity of coin grading services, which give high-end certified coins massive premiums, the value of any perfect condition 2015 error skyrockets even further, because a rare modern error graded MS-67 or higher becomes a truly elite collectible. Auction houses are aware of this trend and actively seek modern rarities, knowing bidders will pay record amounts for unique pieces, and this knowledge fans the flames of speculation even more. The story of the 2015 penny continues to grow because people share their finds, their experiences, and their theories. Some weigh coins, some examine every detail under magnification, some study the reflective patterns on surfaces, and all of them contribute to the shared belief that extraordinary value may still be hiding in ordinary pockets. Every year that passes increases the mystique, because rare errors become harder to find as coins wear down, get lost, or disappear into private collections. The idea that one flawless, spectacular, error-loaded 2015 penny might still be undiscovered, waiting for the right person to notice it, gives the coin an aura of endless possibility. And when you combine composition anomalies, double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, plating errors, mule theories, proof-like finishes, early die quality, and the unstoppable force of viral speculation, the legend of this $189 million penny grows stronger, positioning the 2015 cent as one of the most electrifying coins in modern American minting history. People everywhere continue searching, hoping that the next small, shiny cent they pick up might be the key to unimaginable fortune, and if this kind of rare coin excitement inspires you and you want more incredible stories like this, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for even more jaw-dropping discoveries. Next, 2001 cent USA coin, where curiosity meets discovery and where every coin lover, collector, and treasure seeker gets the chance to dive into the extraordinary world of rare money, and today's story is built around one of the most shocking claims circulating among enthusiasts, the unbelievable idea that a simple 2001 cent USA coin, something countless people handled without a second glance, could now be associated with a jaw-dropping value of $190 million, and whether you are a beginner, a seasoned collector, or someone who simply loves hearing about mysterious finds, this is the kind of story that grabs your attention instantly because it blends excitement, speculation, and the fascinating science of minting errors into one remarkable narrative. The year 2000 was a busy period for the United States Mint, a time when high-speed machinery, large production targets, and increasing demand for circulating currency meant that millions upon millions of coins were being struck at astonishing speed, and whenever such mass production happens, even the most advanced technology can allow rare mistakes to slip through the cracks. Mistakes that turn into treasures decades later when collectors begin to study every detail with magnification, weighing tools, and expert knowledge. The 2001 cent coin, officially a copper-plated zinc penny with a weight of 2.5 grams, should in theory be one of the most uniform and predictable coins of the era, but the claims that certain specimens possess unimaginable rarity stem from several categories of minting errors that, if real, would completely transform a common cent into a multi-million-dollar collector's dream. The first major possibility discussed among collectors is the chance that a small number of these pennies were accidentally struck on leftover bronze planchets, the thicker, heavier copper-based blanks used prior to 1982, which would instantly make them worth enormous amounts of money because such an event goes against official mint procedures and would result in a coin weighing around 3.1 grams rather than the expected 2.5 grams, and even a tiny deviation in weight sparks suspicion and excitement. Some collectors believe that transitional planchet errors, though extremely rare, can happen when old blanks remain stuck in supply bins, and every time someone finds a 2000 penny that feels heavier, rings differently, or shows a deeper reddish tone, speculation grows. Another widely discussed theory involves double die errors, which occur when the design on the die is impressed more than once at slightly different angles, creating visible doubling on the date, the word liberty, or the inscriptions at the top of the coin, such as, "In God We Trust." And although double dies have become less common in the modern minting era because of improved die-making technology, the appearance of even one dramatic double die on a 2000 cent would send shockwaves across the collecting community. There are also rumors of misaligned die errors in which the front and back design are not perfectly aligned, rotated die errors where the reverse is turned several degrees from the obverse, and broad strikes where the collar fails to contain the metal during striking, causing the coin to spread out wider than normal. Each of these errors, depending on severity, can significantly influence a coin's final value. Some enthusiasts believe that the 2000 penny may exist with off-center strikes so extreme that parts of the design are missing while the date remains intact, and this combination has always been highly coveted because it provides undeniable proof of mint malfunction while preserving the essential feature that identifies the coin. Additionally, the zinc core of post-1982 pennies creates opportunities for plating issues, including severe copper bubbling, peeling, cracking, or missing plating spots that reveal the silvery zinc underneath, and although moderate plating problems are not unusual, dramatic and visually striking errors can draw massive attention. Another possibility is the existence of mule errors, one of the rarest and most valuable categories in numismatics, occurring when the obverse die of one denomination is accidentally paired with the reverse die of another, something almost unheard of but not impossible, as proven by several documented mule coins from other years. Even the slightest suggestion of a mule penny from 2000 has collectors buzzing with anticipation because the value of such an error could indeed reach extraordinary levels. Die cracks and die breaks also add to the discussion, especially large cuds formed when pieces of the die break away, leaving raised, blob-like shapes on the coin surface. Dramatic cuds are always appealing to error specialists because each one is completely unique, and uniqueness drives prices higher. People also talk about struck-through errors, created when foreign material such as cloth, wire, or grease gets trapped between the die and the planchet during striking, producing unusual textures or missing design elements, and if any 2000 pennies exhibit bold struck-through errors, they could easily rise to the top of a collector's priority list. Furthermore, early strikes from freshly polished dies might display unusually reflective, proof-like surfaces even though they are standard business strike coins, and these PL or DMPL characteristics are extremely rare outside of proof sets. If verified on a 2000 cent, such surfaces would increase value dramatically. Another major factor contributing to the legendary $190 million claim is the cultural pressure created by modern collectors, social media platforms, online treasure hunting communities, and viral videos that repeatedly insist hidden riches exist in everyday pockets, and whether or not every claim is accurate, the excitement pushes people to examine old coins more carefully, raising demand and creating a feeding frenzy in the rare coin world. People love the idea that a penny from the year 2000, a year many of us remember clearly, might carry a secret mistake from the mint, a mistake that could transform someone's life instantly, and this psychological thrill of possibility is what keeps the buzz alive. The public's fascination with lottery-like discoveries fuels speculative pricing, and because rare error coins have repeatedly sold for astonishing amounts at major auctions, people naturally assume that any truly exceptional 2000 penny discovered today could break previous records and reach a fantasy-level valuation such as the widely circulated figure of $190 million. The more collectors talk about transitional errors, double dies, and high-grade conditions, the more valuable any authentic example becomes, especially if graded by top certification companies, because modern collectors place enormous trust in MS-66, MS-67, and MS-68 designations, and a rare error in such a high grade would be almost mythically valuable. Even the idea that one perfect, dramatic, previously unknown error might still be out there keeps the conversation alive year after year, and every time someone opens a forgotten jar of coins, empties an old wallet, or sorts through childhood collections, the possibility of finding something extraordinary adds excitement to the search. The 2000 pennies growing legend is strengthened by the fact that modern minting errors are generally scarcer, meaning that finding an exceptional one is like striking gold, when supply is low and hope is high, values rise dramatically. All of these factors, rare planchet variations, double dies, off-center strikes, rotated dies, plating issues, die breaks, struck-through errors, theoretical mule combinations, early strike-proof-like surfaces, grading premiums, viral excitement, and the psychological thrill of treasure hunting, combine to create an environment where a simple cent from the year 2000 becomes the center of speculation, curiosity, and enthusiasm. And even if many of these stories remain unverified or rooted in rumor, their influence on collector culture is undeniable, helping transform an ordinary coin into a symbol of discovery, luck, and possibility. So if you enjoy stories like this and want to uncover more secrets about rare coins, valuable errors, and potentially life-changing finds, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another incredible discovery. Next, 1992 D1 cent USA coin, and thank you for joining a community that loves uncovering hidden treasures, exploring mysterious finds, and diving deep into the world of rare coins where even the smallest piece of metal can carry stories, surprises, and unimaginable value. And today we are exploring one of the most electrifying topics circulating among collectors: the astonishing idea that a 1992 D1 cent coin, yes, a simple penny minted in Denver, could be worth a staggering $191 million. Because of extraordinary errors, rare variations, and minting mistakes that have transformed an ordinary coin into an object of fascination, speculation, and excitement within the numismatic world. The year 1992 is already famous among collectors because of the iconic close AM variety discovered on some cents, a rare spacing difference between the A and M in the word America, and although only a small handful of such coins are known from Philadelphia, the possibility that rare or unknown variations also exist from the Denver Mint has fueled endless discussion and treasure hunting energy, especially when people imagine the possibility that an error-packed 1992 D cent might reach record-breaking value. To understand how such astronomical numbers like $191 million become part of the conversation, we first have to explore the wide range of minting errors and unusual patterns that collectors believe might exist in extremely rare 1992 D cents, starting with transitional errors involving the 1993 reverse design, which features the close AM layout. And although the Denver Mint was expected to switch fully to the new design by 1993, the possibility that a few 1992 D cents were accidentally struck using 1993 reverse dies is a theory many collectors find compelling. These transitional errors, if proven and found in perfect condition, would instantly become multi-million-dollar treasures because they represent true minting anomalies created during moments of technological and design shifts at the mint. In addition to the reverse spacing error, collectors search relentlessly for double die varieties, where the date, lettering, or details of Lincoln's portrait appear doubled due to misalignment during die creation, and while not many dramatic double dies from 1992 D have been officially documented, the idea that extremely subtle or extremely rare ones exist continues to inspire intense investigation. Even the slightest doubling on the date, 1992, the word liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," could cause a massive bidding war, especially if the coin retains full mint luster and high-grade surfaces. Weight anomalies also contribute to the fascination, as the official 1992 D cent should weigh around 2.5 grams due to its zinc core and copper plating, but some collectors believe stray bronze planchets left over from earlier years may have occasionally found their way into production bins, creating rare heavy planchet pennies weighing closer to 3.1 grams, and if a 1992 D bronze example exists, it would instantly become one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever discovered. Further possibilities include off-center strikes, where the coin design is not fully centered and appears shifted dramatically. Such errors become extremely valuable if the date remains visible. The 1992 D penny is also known to show occasional plating errors because of its zinc interior. Issues such as bubbling, peeling, cracks, or missing copper layers can occur if the plating process experiences interruptions, and dramatic plating errors are highly collectible when they result in unique textures or bold exposed zinc patterns. Another area of speculation involves die rotation errors, where the reverse side of the coin is rotated noticeably compared to the obverse. This happens when dies shift out of proper alignment, and while small degrees of rotation are common, extreme examples are highly sought after and could command enormous premiums. Some collectors also suspect that struck-through errors exist among 1992 D cents, which occur when foreign objects such as cloth fibers, grease, wire fragments, or metal shavings come between the die and the planchet during striking, causing unusual imprints or missing design elements, and dramatic struck-through examples are always valuable because they produce one-of-a-kind coins. Die cracks and die breaks, especially large ones known as cuds, are also part of the conversation, and when large sections of the die break off, the corresponding raised blobs on the coin create distinctive and striking error pieces that collectors pay premium prices for, especially when the cut appears in prominent areas such as the rim, Lincoln's profile, or the lettering. Some theories go even further, suggesting the possibility of mule errors, where the obverse die of the penny might have been paired with the reverse die of another denomination. While no such mule is confirmed for the 1992 D penny, the mere concept fuels speculation, because mule coins are among the most valuable errors in U.S. mint history due to their extreme rarity. Adding to the excitement is the idea of early die-state coins showing proof-like surfaces, meaning business strike coins with mirror-like fields and sharp details created by freshly polished dies during the first few strikes, and although this is rare for cents, the discovery of a proof-like 1992 D error coin would dramatically increase its value. The 1992 D penny is also surrounded by generations of hype stemming from the famous 1992 close AM cent discovered from the Philadelphia Mint, and because that coin sold for tens of thousands of dollars in high-grade condition, collectors now examine every 1992 D penny with extreme scrutiny, hoping to find an equivalent rarity or something even more spectacular. All of these possibilities, transitional dies, double dies, bronze planchet anomalies, off-center strikes, plating errors, die cracks, struck-through debris, rotated dies, mule possibilities, proof-like surfaces, and close versus wide AM spacing, combine to create an atmosphere of intense curiosity, and modern collectors embrace this uncertainty, turning every unusual 1992 D cent into a potential treasure. The psychological appeal of a penny being worth millions cannot be understated. People love the idea that an overlooked coin sitting in a jar, wallet, or old change stash could actually be hiding exceptional rarity, and the thrill of searching through everyday coins becomes addictive. Social media has amplified this excitement significantly, spreading stories, discoveries, and rumors faster than ever, with countless videos showing people finding strange coins, weighing pennies, studying lettering under magnifiers, and learning the subtle differences between close AM and wide AM varieties. And this viral coin culture helps push speculative value numbers higher because people enjoy imagining life-changing finds. Even though not every error is confirmed, the belief that one perfect, dramatic, never-before-seen 1992 D penny might still be discovered keeps collectors searching, auction houses alert, and the value narrative alive. For a coin to be valued at $191 million in theory, it would likely require a once-in-a-generation combination of extreme rarity, flawless condition, unique error, and historic importance, and while such a coin has never publicly surfaced, the combination of rumor, hope, and numismatic enthusiasm fuels the fascination around the 1992 D penny's potential. Each new discussion, each new expert opinion, and each new examination magnifies the allure, turning this ordinary 1-cent coin into a symbol of mystery and possibility. Collectors appreciate the history, the minting science, the detective work, and the thrill that comes with searching for hidden treasures, and the 1992 D cent remains at the center of this numismatic adventure. If you love exploring rare coins, discovering hidden errors, and learning about the incredible potential hiding in everyday change, then make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another exciting story or unbelievable coin discovery. Next, 2007 1-cent USA coin, and thank you for joining us once again as we dive into another incredible story from the world of rare coins, astonishing mint mistakes, and unbelievable hidden treasures that might be sitting quietly in pockets, drawers, or old jars without anyone realizing their true potential. And today's topic is one that blends curiosity, excitement, and the remarkable possibility that a simple everyday coin could be worth an unimaginable fortune as we explore the Unbelievable tale of the 2007 1-cent coin that collectors claim could command an extraordinary price of $192 million because of an extremely rare combination of errors, anomalies, and production quirks that raise countless questions about how such a coin came to be, why it is so elusive, what specific features could make it so valuable, and why experts believe that only a handful of such pieces may exist in the world, transforming an ordinary penny into an extraordinary treasure that sparks fascination among hobbyists, serious investors, and casual viewers who simply enjoy the thrill of imagining how something so small could become the center of a multi-million-dollar mystery. And as we begin this deep dive, it is important to understand that while a typical 2007 penny is worth only its face value, a very rare combination of mistakes can push its value into territory that sounds almost fictional, yet stories in the numismatic world often remind us that real history can be far stranger and far more dramatic than anything we could ever invent, especially when it involves minting errors that escaped detection, circulated unnoticed, or survived against all odds, creating a perfect storm of rarity, curiosity, and overwhelming demand among collectors who constantly search for coins that defy the norms of their period. And the 2007 1-cent coin has become one of the most speculative yet widely discussed examples of a potential multimillion dollar rarity due to a combination of misstrikes, unexplained die deterioration, off-planchet strikes, transitional metal mix-ups, and other possibilities that have been theorized repeatedly by experts and enthusiasts who study every minute detail of minting history from that particular year. And to understand why this coin could hypothetically achieve such a breathtaking valuation, we need to look closely at the specific kinds of errors that could be associated with it, beginning with the possibility of a wrong-planchet error, which occurs when a coin is struck on a metal blank intended for a completely different denomination. And although the United States Mint had fully transitioned to zinc-based copper-plated planchets long before 2007, there is always the rare chance, however minuscule, that a leftover planchet from a previous batch or a misfeed from another production line found its way into the presses, resulting in a coin with a metallic composition that differs from what is expected. And collectors pay enormous amounts for such pieces because they are tangible proof of mistakes that should have been caught by quality control processes but somehow were not, creating a unique artifact of error and oversight that becomes priceless due to its unrepeatable nature. And another major factor that would contribute dramatically to a 2007 cents value is the presence of a double die error, which occurs when the die, the stamped metal piece used to strike the coin's design, has been improperly aligned or repeatedly repositioned during production, causing letters, numbers, or design elements to appear doubled, overlapped, or shadowed in ways that can be clearly observed with magnification. And such doubling can affect the date, Liberty inscription, motto, or Lincoln's portrait, and collectors often pay extraordinary premiums for sharp, bold, dramatic doubling that leaves no doubt of its authenticity. So when you combine a double die with another error such as a misaligned strike, off-center planchet, or unusual metal composition, the value begins to rise exponentially, especially when the coin has survived in mint state condition with minimal wear, making it an extraordinary specimen in both rarity and quality. And in addition to double dies, there are also theories about coins from 2007 that may have been struck with improperly polished dies where certain parts of the design appear faint, missing, or distorted due to overpolishing or mechanical abrasion, and sometimes this can erase portions of Lincoln's coat, the details of the memorial design on the reverse, or even elements of the lettering, leading to a visually unusual coin that collectors immediately recognize as a mint-induced anomaly rather than post-mint damage. And such coins, especially when combined with other unusual traits, gain increased attention within the numismatic community because the exact process that created the anomaly must have been brief, rare, and quickly corrected, meaning only a tiny number of such coins could have been produced before the mint identified the problem, stopped the presses, and replaced the defective die. And the scarcity factor plays a crucial role here because collectors value rarity almost above everything else, knowing that if only one or two examples of a particular mistake survived, demand becomes immense among those who wish to own a piece of minting history that stands apart from millions of ordinary coins. And another compelling possibility involves off-center strikes where the planchet is not perfectly seated in the striking chamber, resulting in a coin whose design is dramatically shifted toward one edge, and the amount of off-center shift determines the value. Too small and it becomes insignificant, too large, and critical design elements may be lost, making the coin less desirable. But an ideal off-center strike that preserves the date and major design elements while displaying a large visible shift becomes highly valuable, especially if it occurred in combination with other rare errors such as doubling or a wrong-planchet composition, and the layering of errors is what ultimately pushes a coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar valuation, because each mistake on its own may be rare but not impossibly scarce, yet when several improbable mistakes align perfectly in one surviving coin, the result is nothing short of astonishing. And speaking of layering, there is also speculation about broad strikes, die cracks, capped die strikes, and planchet laminations that could further enhance the uniqueness of a 2007 penny, and a broad-struck coin shows expanded edges due to missing collars during striking, while a die crack creates raised lines across the coin's surface from fractures in the die, and a capped die strike produces ghost-like, distorted impressions when a coin becomes stuck to the die and continues striking. Subsequent planchets and planchet laminations occur when the metal layers separate due to impurities or contamination, leaving peeling or cracked surfaces that occurred prior to striking, making them genuine mint errors rather than signs of damage after circulation. And when any of these extraordinary anomalies appear together on the same coin, the fascination and value increase dramatically, turning the piece into one that collectors might be willing to pay unimaginable amounts for, not only because of its scientific and historical significance but also because of its story and the sheer improbability of its existence. And when we imagine a 2007 penny valued at $192 million, we are imagining a perfect storm where a wrong planchet error combines with a bold double die, an off-center strike, a rare die crack pattern, a lightly polished reverse, and superb preservation that suggests the coin may have been accidentally saved immediately after production, never circulated, and remained hidden for decades until someone finally recognized its extraordinary nature. And while this may sound like a fairy tale, the coin collecting world has repeatedly shown us that ultra-rare pieces can emerge from the most unexpected circumstances, surprising experts and shocking the public, and the possibility that such a coin could exist fuels excitement among viewers and collectors who check their change daily in hopes of uncovering a life-changing treasure. And as we explore these possibilities, it becomes clear that the dazzling valuation of $192 million is not solely due to hype but rather the understandable reaction of a collector community that prizes rarity, uniqueness, and historical mistakes in ways that defy ordinary financial logic, because when only one example exists, or is believed to exist, its price becomes a reflection of passion, obsession, and the willingness of wealthy collectors to compete for a piece of numismatic history that might never appear again. And the legend of the 2007 1-cent coin continues to grow as people imagine the perfect combination of errors that could elevate an ordinary coin into an object of staggering worth, reminding us that treasures still exist in the most unexpected places, waiting to be discovered, appreciated, and shared with the world. Next, 2001 1-cent USA coin, everyone to another exciting deep dive into the extraordinary world of rare coins, unbelievable mint errors, and the surprising treasures that might be sitting unnoticed in your home, because today we are exploring a truly astonishing piece that collectors and enthusiasts speculate about, the mysterious and incredibly rare 2001 1-cent coin that, according to some discussions in numismatic circles, could hypothetically command an unbelievable value of $193 million because of a perfect storm of mint errors, striking anomalies, and production irregularities that, if found together on a single surviving coin, would make it one of the most valuable numismatic items ever imagined. And as we begin this journey, we welcome you to sit back, relax, and prepare to explore a world where even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprises, where collectors chase the rarest combinations of mistakes, and where a single overlooked penny could, in theory, become a treasure worth more than the most expensive paintings, jewels, or collectibles ever sold, reminding us that the world of coin collecting thrives on rarity, mystery, and the thrill of discovering something that defies logic. When discussing the 2001 penny, we must first acknowledge that the standard issue for that year is common and holds only face value. However, the speculative scenario surrounding a hypothetical $193 million piece centers on the idea that an extraordinary chain of mistakes occurred at the Denver Mint, creating a coin so dramatically different from its intended design and composition that experts, if they ever found it, would treat it as a once-in-a-lifetime anomaly. A coin that should not exist and yet somehow did, slipping past quality control and into the world in a way that shocks collectors, historians, and mint technicians alike. To understand why such a coin could theoretically reach such an unfathomable value, we need to explore the types of errors that would contribute to such an astonishing price, beginning with one of the rarest minting anomalies, a wrong-planchet strike, which happens when a coin is accidentally struck on a blank meant for a different denomination, and while the United States Mint had, by 2001, long standardized the materials used for each coin type, accidents still happened in rare cases. Sometimes when leftover blanks remained in machinery from previous production runs or when mechanical misfeeds occurred, causing a cent design to be impressed on a blank intended for a dime, a foreign coin, or an experimental test strike, and such errors are so rare that even a single authenticated example can command tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thus, the idea that a 2001 penny struck on an extremely unusual or highly valuable planchet survived is one of the most compelling theories for its massive hypothetical value, and collectors who specialize in metallurgical analysis would immediately test such a coin for weight, alloy composition, magnetic response, and other factors that could confirm an out-of-place metal mixture from that year. In addition to the wrong-planchet theory, collectors often speculate about doubled dies, which occur when the die used to strike the coin shifts slightly between impressions during hubbing, causing letters, numbers, or design elements to appear doubled, shadowed, or distorted in ways that can be seen clearly under magnification, and dramatic doubled dies, such as the famous 1955 and 1972 examples, have fetched substantial prices because such mistakes cannot be replicated once corrected, meaning the affected coins form a tiny, finite population that collectors prize intensely, and if the mythical 2001 cent were found with a bold double die on the date, the word liberty, or the motto "In God We Trust," especially if the doubling were crisp and unmistakable, the value would skyrocket because dramatic doubling combined with a wrong planchet would create a once-in-history overlap of rare traits that serious collectors would battle fiercely to acquire. Beyond double dies, another significant contributor to extreme rarity is the presence of off-center strikes, and these occur when the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned beneath the striking dies, causing the resulting image to be shifted toward one edge, leaving a crescent of blank metal exposed, and while minor off-center strikes may not command large premiums, those with significant displacement, 20% or more, especially when the date remains visible, become extremely valuable. And if an off-center strike were combined with a wrong planchet error and a major double die, the rarity would expand exponentially, because collectors often value combinations of mistakes far more than single anomalies since the odds of multiple errors aligning in one coin are astronomically low, and low probability is the foundation of extreme numismatic value. Another possibility discussed by error coin specialists is a broad strike, which happens when the coin is struck without its retaining collar, allowing metal to flow outward uncontrollably, creating a wider, flatter coin with unusual rims, and although broad strikes alone do not typically bring enormous value, pairing one with a wrong planchet scenario or double die could create a unique hybrid error that appeals immensely to high-level collectors who seek coins with unmistakable mint-induced attributes that separate them from ordinary production pieces, and the presence of such an error in a 2001 penny would imply a moment of mechanical failure at the Denver Mint that went unnoticed during a brief but critical window of production. There is also speculation about die cracks or die breaks, raised, jagged lines that appear when the striking die develops fractures due to stress, repeated use, or metallurgical weakness, and although minor die cracks are common, a dramatic crack or retained cud, especially one affecting Lincoln's portrait or the outer rim, would make the coin visually striking and highly desirable, and when collectors find a coin with a major cut error, where part of the die breaks away completely, leaving a raised blob of metal, they immediately recognize it as one of the rarest forms of die failure. So if the legendary 2001 penny possessed a massive cud combined with doubling or wrong planchet traits, the layering of errors could propel its value into unimaginable territory. Another theoretical contributor to the coin's hypothetical $193 million valuation is the possibility of a mule error, which occurs when a coin is struck using mismatched dies from two different denominations, and mule errors are so rare that only a handful exist in U.S. minting history. making them spectacularly valuable, and if a 2001 D cent were struck with a reverse die from another denomination, whether a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin, the result would be one of the rarest minting mistakes imaginable, and mint records show that mules typically emerge from moments of mechanical or procedural oversight that are quickly corrected, meaning only a tiny number escape into circulation. And the discovery of such a mule involving a cent would instantly create worldwide attention because it would represent a violation of minting protocol so extreme that collectors would view the coin as an artifact of historical error rather than a standard collectible. Planchet laminations might also contribute to value. These occur when impurities or weak bonding in the metal cause peeling, cracking, or flaking surfaces that existed before the strike, creating irregularities on the finished coin. And although laminations alone are not worth millions, their presence on a coin already carrying multiple major errors could deepen its uniqueness, especially if the lamination exposes an unusual layer of metal beneath the surface, potentially hinting at an incorrect planchet alloy or contamination event during manufacturing. Another possibility involves a die cap strike, which happens when a struck coin becomes stuck to one of the dies and continues striking subsequent blanks, eventually forming a distorted, bottle cap-shaped coin with ghost-like impressions that collectors find captivating, and if the fabled 2001 D penny possessed partial die cap characteristics layered with doubling and planchet anomalies, its appearance would be so unusual that it would likely be considered a museum-worthy specimen. Moreover, the survival of such a coin in pristine condition would further amplify its hypothetical value, because errors of extreme magnitude often deform the coin, making mint state examples exceedingly rare, and collectors place extraordinary premiums on errors that remain unusually well preserved, indicating that someone unknowingly saved the coin early in its life, preventing circulation where that would otherwise reduce its sharpness and clarity. So if a hypothetical 2001 D cent combined multiple dramatic mint errors and also survived in near-perfect condition, the rarity would be beyond astronomical. Next, 1975 D 1 cent USA coin. Today we are exploring the unbelievable tale of the 1975 D 1 cent coin that collectors speculate could reach a jaw-dropping value of $194 million due to an extraordinary combination of errors, minting mistakes, and impossible-to-replicate anomalies that, when combined, would make this coin one of the greatest and most valuable numismatic discoveries in history. And as we unfold this incredible narrative, you will see how a simple penny, which millions of people handled without a second thought, could hypothetically become a priceless treasure capable of changing someone's life instantly, because in coin collecting, rarity is everything, and the 1975 D penny sits at the crossroads of speculation, mystery, and the thrill of finding something that should never have existed in the first place. The Denver Mint in 1975 was operating at full capacity, producing billions of cents using copper alloy planchets, steel machinery, hardened dies, and strict production protocols. Yet even with rigorous quality control, mistakes slipped through the system, and certain mistakes, especially when layered atop one another, could create coins so unusual that they are essentially considered minting miracles. And this is where the hypothetical $194 million coin enters the discussion, because collectors believe that somewhere, hidden away in a forgotten jar or tucked inside an old box, there could be a 1975 D 1 cent coin containing a series of extreme, almost impossible mint errors that, if authenticated, would make it the single rarest modern penny ever found. To understand why such a staggering value is even imaginable, we need to explore the types of errors that would justify such a legendary price, beginning with one of the rarest and most dramatic mistakes in all of numismatics, the wrong-planchet strike, which happens when a coin is struck on a blank intended for another denomination, another metal composition, or even another country. And because the U.S. Mint occasionally tested experimental alloys or retained foreign planchets from contract production, a 1975 D cent accidentally struck on a silver, aluminum, or foreign coin blank would immediately send shockwaves through the collecting world, and the mere possibility of this happening at a time when copper planchets were the standard only intensifies the rarity, because a misfeed involving a non-copper planchet would be so improbable that its survival would almost defy logic, making collectors speculate that such a coin could be worth tens of millions even before considering additional errors. Another layer of potential value comes from double die errors, which occur when the die used to strike a coin receives its design impression slightly misaligned during hubbing, causing letters, numbers, and design elements to appear shadowed, doubled, or distorted, and famous double die coins from other years have sold for hundreds of thousands because of their visual impact and rarity. So a dramatic double die on a 1975 D penny, especially on the date, on Liberty, or on In God We Trust, would significantly increase its importance, and if this doubling occurred on both the obverse and reverse dies, making it a major multi-die anomaly, the coin would achieve a level of visual and historical uniqueness rarely seen in the entire history of the U.S. Mint. Alongside doubling, off-center strikes also dramatically affect value, and if this hypothetical 1975 D penny were struck 20, 30, or even 50% off-center while still retaining a clear and readable date, the error would become spectacularly desirable, because collectors place enormous value on off-center coins that preserve the date, and the larger the off-center shift, the more dramatic the appearance, especially when combined with another major error such as doubling or a wrong-planchet strike, and the combination of multiple extreme errors is what pushes theoretical values into astronomical territory, because the odds of 2 or 3 dramatic mistakes occurring simultaneously are so low that their existence borders on the impossible. Another possibility that electrifies collectors is the idea of a mule error, which happens when a coin is struck with mismatched dies from 2 different denominations, and mule errors are among the rarest minting mistakes ever documented, with only a handful known in U.S. history. So if a 1975 D penny were struck with a Lincoln cent obverse but paired with the reverse of a dime or a foreign coin, the result would be a coin so historically abnormal that it would capture worldwide attention, and its value would be limited only by the bidding wars of the wealthiest coin collectors on Earth, because a mule cent from 1975 would stand alone as one of the greatest minting anomalies of all time. Beyond die mismatching, dramatic die cracks or retained cuds could also contribute to the coin's mythical value, because severe die breaks create raised, jagged metal formations on the struck coin that can be so large and so unmistakable that collectors refer to them as falls, volcanoes, or cliffs, and although minor die cracks are somewhat common, a massive die break that distorts Lincoln's portrait or the rim of the coin transforms an ordinary penny into a conversation piece and a high-value collectible. And when such a dramatic cut error is combined with a wrong-planchet scenario, doubling, or a mule pairing, the rarity compounds exponentially, creating a specimen so improbable that it becomes one of one, the holy grail of all modern mint errors. Another error that experts speculate could contribute to such an extraordinary valuation is a brockage, which occurs when a freshly struck coin becomes stuck to one of the dies and then impresses its raised mirror image design onto another planchet, producing a coin with a backward, incuse impression that is instantly recognizable and amazingly rare. And a full obverse or reverse brockage combined with another severe error would make any coin an ultra-rarity that collectors would aggressively pursue. A further possibility is the concept of a double strike or multi-strike error, in which the coin receives 2 or more strikes in different positions or angles, sometimes flipping or shifting between strikes, resulting in multiple overlapping images, distorted lettering, and a dramatic, eye-catching appearance that no mint would ever intend, and multi-strike errors, especially when combined with off-center misalignments, can create unique works of accidental art that collectors love because of their unmistakable visual chaos. Another factor that could theoretically push the 1975 D penny's value to the $194 million mark is its condition, because extreme errors are often brutally deformed or mishandled during minting, frequently resulting in coins with poor surfaces, bends, deep gouges, or severe flattening. So if the mythical example survived in near-perfect condition, perhaps because it was caught early in its life by someone who noticed something odd, the preservation alone would multiply its value, reinforcing the idea that the coin is not merely rare but extraordinarily special, with qualities that surpass typical mint errors in both severity and beauty. At the same time, collectors place immense emphasis on uniqueness, because in numismatics, a one-of-a-kind coin commands a price far beyond even the rarest mass-produced mint errors, and if the 1975 D penny in question combined a wrong-planchet strike, a dramatic double die, a major off-center strike, a severe retained cud, and possibly even a mule reverse, The coin would cross into a category reserved for treasures like the 1933 double eagle or the 1794 flowing hair dollar, where value is determined not by metal content but by historical impossibility, artistic accident, and the sheer improbability of survival. Beyond the technical errors, the mystique surrounding the hypothetical 1975 penny also contributes to its legendary status, because collectors love the idea that incredible treasures can still be found in change, and the theory that such a coin could be sitting unnoticed in a box of old pennies fuels excitement, curiosity, and the dream that everyday people might stumble upon something that transforms their lives. And this emotional appeal, this connection to discovery and possibility, is part of what makes rare coin stories so compelling. Furthermore, the historical context of 1975 adds an intriguing element to the speculation, because the U.S. Mint never produced a 1975 quarter for circulation due to the creation of the bicentennial quarter, and this unusual production year has fueled theories among collectors that other hidden anomalies might exist, including unnoticed cent errors that slipped into circulation during a year of transitional planning, heightened mint activity, and shifting die schedules, all of which increase the plausibility of a major minting oversight producing a 1 in a billion coin. The fascination grows when we consider that many extraordinary errors have only been discovered decades after production, because the people who originally handled them never realized the true nature of the coin, and the possibility that such a unique 1975 penny might still be out there fuels the imagination of collectors and inspires beginner hobbyists to search their own change, reminding us that the world of coins is full of hidden stories waiting to be uncovered. Last 1989 1-cent USA coin. Today, as we dive into one of the most astonishing, unexpected, and exciting discoveries in the world of rare coins, because in this video we are exploring the unbelievable story of how an ordinary-looking 1989 1-cent coin, the kind most people walk past without a second thought, has been reported to reach an astounding value of $195 million due to a combination of bizarre minting errors, unusual production flaws, accidental variations, and mysterious possibilities that collectors believe make it one of the most extraordinary pieces ever discussed in numismatic circles. So settle in as we take you through every twist and turn of what makes this seemingly simple penny so valuable, so desirable, and so capable of changing the life of anyone lucky enough to find one hiding in a handful of pocket change. To start, let us set the stage by understanding how a coin as common as a 1989 1-cent piece, a coin produced by the hundreds of millions, could suddenly be propelled into the spotlight with such an unimaginable price tag, because for a coin to achieve that kind of worth, collectors expect a combination of errors that go far beyond surface scratches or minor misalignments. They look for dramatic, eye-catching, and unmistakable deviations from the original design, errors that come together in such a rare set of circumstances that even seasoned experts are left speechless, and the 1989 penny in question is believed to embody that exact rare cocktail of elements that turn an everyday object into something almost legendary. The first error reportedly present on this mysterious 1989 coin involves an extraordinary double-die obverse in which the date, Liberty inscription, and the phrase, "In God We Trust," appear not simply doubled but shifted in such a way that each layer is visible with crisp separation, creating a strong mechanical doubling effect that numismatists immediately recognize as far more dramatic than the typical doubling seen on many modern coins. This intense level of doubling suggests either a misaligned hub strike or an accidental rehub that was never caught during production, and because the 1989 penny was part of an era when the mint was transitioning between different hubbing technologies, experts believe these transitional conditions may have contributed to the formation of such an error, although nothing this extreme has ever been documented from that year, which only adds to the coin's mystique. Another remarkable error involves the reverse side where the Lincoln Memorial appears unusually off-center, not by the small margin sometimes found on circulated coins but by a dramatic shift that pushes the entire memorial toward the rim, creating a wide blank space on one side and an overly compressed design on the other. The alignment error is so severe that collectors describe it as a near, partial blank planchet strike, something that should have been filtered out during the mint's quality control process, yet somehow this particular coin slipped through undetected, making its existence not only improbable but incredibly valuable due to the severity of the mistake. On top of that, the coin reportedly displays a rare planchet anomaly where the copper-plated zinc layer appears inconsistent, with tiny exposed areas where the zinc peeks through the copper surface. This kind of plating issue typically results in coins being destroyed before entering circulation because the mint keeps a close eye on the bonding process between the copper layer and zinc core, but in extremely rare cases, the plating machine malfunctions, leading to uneven layering, peeling, bubbling, or incomplete coverage, and collectors often pay extremely high premiums for such coins because the plating errors are difficult to replicate and even harder to find in an intact, well-preserved state. What makes this 1989 coin even more intriguing is the presence of what some numismatists believe might be an experimental strike or transitional variation, since rumors suggest that during the late 1980s, the mint experimented with slight changes in composition ratios, testing durability and resistance to corrosion. Although no official records confirm widespread experimental variations for that year, however, collectors love the possibility that they may be holding a coin created during a brief transitional test run, and when combined with visible errors, this possibility dramatically increases the speculative value, especially among wealthy buyers willing to pay top dollar for unique oddities that cannot be found anywhere else. Another factor feeding into this coin's extraordinary valuation is the speculation surrounding its mint origin and sequence of strikes, because some experts argue that the coin seems to exhibit evidence of a triple strike, meaning it was struck more than once by the die in slightly different positions, leaving ghost-like outlines and repeated impressions around the lettering and Lincoln's profile. Multi-strike errors are incredibly rare because the mint's machinery is designed to eject coins quickly after striking. So for a coin to be struck 2 or 3 times, something must malfunction with the feeder or ejector mechanism, and such malfunctions usually lead to immediate shutdown and inspection, making any multi-strike coin from this period a remarkable find. The surface of the coin also shows unusual luster patterns that some believe hint at improper annealing or overheating during production, causing slight discoloration, streaking, or rainbow-like toning in certain areas, while toning alone is not necessarily rare. Toning caused by metallurgical errors during minting is exceptionally desirable because it indicates that the coin's flaws originated inside the minting process rather than developing over time, giving it authenticity and adding another layer of rarity to its already impressive list of anomalies. Beyond the physical errors, part of the coin's massive value comes from the mythology built around it by collectors, dealers, and enthusiasts who believe that the combination of double die errors, off-center striking, planchet flaws, unusual luster, and possible multi-strike impressions make this coin not just rare but one of a kind, a term that instantly pushes valuations into jaw-dropping territory because collectors with significant financial resources are always eager to outbid one another for an opportunity to own something no one else can possess. The excitement also stems from the fact that the 1989 penny was minted during a period of change within the minting industry, with evolving technology, shifts in die-making techniques, and increasing production volumes, meaning that errors from this era stand out even more because the mint was getting better at catching mistakes, making major errors significantly less likely, so when one is discovered, it becomes the subject of fascination, debate, and speculation, all of which contribute to its incredible value. Many collectors point out that the dramatic price tag associated with this particular 1989 penny is also influenced by the story surrounding its discovery, because rumors suggest it was found unexpectedly in a jar of old coins that had been sitting untouched for years, which adds an exciting narrative element that buyers love. Since a great story can elevate a rare coin from simply valuable to truly legendary, the idea that a coin worth $195 million could be hiding in an ordinary container of loose change fuels the imaginations of collectors everywhere, leading to increased interest and skyrocketing demand for any 1989 penny showing even the slightest hint of an error. Experts also highlight the significance of condition, because if the coin is preserved in unusually high grade, particularly if it appears uncirculated or nearly flawless, the mint errors become even more dramatic and visually striking, which naturally increases its market value. Collectors who specialize in error coins often emphasize that condition and clarity of the error can make the difference between a coin worth a few $1,000s and one worth several million, so a high-grade 1989 penny with severe multiple errors would easily attract astronomical offers from enthusiasts who recognize its importance. Additionally, The coin's uniqueness and rumored perfection of the errors feed into competitive high-end collecting, where investors view rare coins not merely as hobbies but as alternative assets capable of appreciating dramatically in value due to scarcity and global demand. In such markets, prices tend to rise rapidly when wealthy buyers become determined to secure ownership of something rare. And even if the price seems unbelievable to the average person, the numismatic world operates on rarity, historical significance, aesthetic appeal, and demand, all of which combine to justify extraordinary valuations for extraordinary pieces. The psychological factor also plays a role, as collectors who specialize in mint errors often search for coins that challenge expectations of what is possible, and a 1989 penny with a perfect storm of dramatic errors becomes a type of trophy, a coin that represents the pinnacle of what error collecting stands for: rarity, mystery, beauty, and a sense of miraculous survival against all odds. Furthermore, speculation adds fuel to the fire because collectors theorize about the circumstances that could have produced such a coin.